Alright guys, Scrappy again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day. So far, it's no secret the Vegas Falcons are aggressively trying to buy Scrap out of his contract with the Los Angeles Thieves. But what do Thieves have to say on the matter? Nadeshot reveals that as it stands, no deal has been agreed. He's not been sold yet, and Scrap is still, as of today, an LA Thieves player. And Nadeshot is trying to get Scrap to sign an extension that might actually make it make sense for them to keep him for the near term. But if $2 million is the figure, that has got to be very difficult to deny. But Nadeshot says that for now, it still remains a relatively unlikely possibility. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Just a quick thing, because there's so much happening the last couple of days. Just on BO7. BO7 is getting revealed in a week and a little bit. There's been some talk about the maps. We know that this year's game was actually pretty solid, but the maps were frankly just not good enough from start to finish. Now, rumour has it that some actual good maps will return. So Raid is back again, which if hopefully it happens. I mean, why? Literally Raid should be in every card. It should have been in this card. I feel like a Black Ops game without Raid is criminal. Maybe BO4 because it was 5v5, whatever. You can make an exception maybe. But yeah, Raid should have been in the game. And Black Ops 3, the best COD ever, did have Raid because it came back as Empire, if you know that, as a DLC map. But anyway, Slums and Raid are meant to be back. Slums is fine. I mean, it's, you know, it's okay. It's good for hardpoints historically, good for capture the flag as well if we bring that mode back, something to think about. But also Gridlock from Black Ops 4. That is a rumour to keep in mind. There have been other rumours as to other maps that they are contemplating bringing back as well. We know that Hacienda came back for this game. I was somewhat surprised that they didn't bring some other BO4 maps back in this game, BO6. We could have had Arsenal, Frequency, Seaside, among others. Gridlock was also one of the big favourites though, and apparently that map is potentially going to be making a return. Now, these are some new names, or the rest of the names, on the top 20 list. CleanX got put in as 14th. You guys can see the average vote here and some of all the stats here. So CleanX 14th. The way we vote on this is 80% of it is based on the individual player's level, and 20% of it is going to be based on their team success. So that is how it is meant to be done. Now, the way that you kind of balance together what that looks like over a season perspective, for example, Shotzzy and Dashy are pretty high up on this top 20 list. They are not names that you will see us discuss here because we're going to go from 14 to 9 in the coming seconds, and Dashy and Shotzzy are higher up than that. Is that deserved over the course of the season? You could argue it. They weren't great for a sizable portion of the year, but when it mattered, they were. So that's obviously a debate. The way this is done, it's not just like randomized or based on stats. We took a load of community members, people voted in it, we average out the numbers, we see what they say. This is a very difficult list to do though. The way that the season went, from Super coming in halfway through the season, he was voted in at 13th on average, so it was very, very competitive. Super 13th best player, that is what it says at the end of the day. Abuzah came in at number 12, but ranking these players is so challenging. How much do you kind of count their individual level? How much do you count how they did at the end of the season? How much do you count how well they performed, but also how well they did in finals and making finals? Surge made 4 finals, but they didn't win anything. So should they, you know, should Abuzah be higher than the players that did win something? Even if you know, let's say someone like Neptune, where should he sit? Where should someone like JoeDeceives sit, for example? JoeDeceives didn't win anything this year, but he still played at a very high level. Should he be, you know, ahead of Simp or Cellium? Should he be behind? Should he be ahead of whatever? You can debate it until the sun goes down. Rencor came in at number 11. Average vote, by the way, 9.43. Kind of goes to show that Abuzah was number 12, and his average vote was 14.7. Renkor's average vote was 9.4. So it was very clear, like, there was a top 11 players and there was the rest, pretty much, in most of the people's votings, because it's, you know, that's a big gap there, right? Like, it's pretty much everyone had Renkor at that level or above. Those, therefore, were the, well, 20 to 11 to Nastie, 04, Ghosty, Drazah, aBeZy, Real, CleanX, Super, Abuzah, Renkor. That's how it's been voted so far. Snoopy, for me, was just on the cusp, and a couple of other names that you can throw in the mix as well. I think Envoy, as well, also missed out, which was kind of surprising to me. I think that I had him in there at maybe like 17, 18, somewhere in that ballpark. I think I did anyway. JoeDeceives came in as number 10 ranked, and then number 9th ranked on the averages is actually Simp. Exactly tied, by the way. Average vote 8.83 for Simp, average vote 8.83 for JoeDeceives. Gave the edge to Simp because he won more events, but yeah, very competitive. Into your thoughts in the comments. We'll discuss the rest of the list in the coming days. I did want to share this clip as well. I'll share it for you guys at the end of the video, but if you guys remember, Kenny the other day said that he nearly had a fight with one of his former teammates. Shotzzy said that it would be someone you wouldn't expect, and that it wasn't any of the OpTic guys, at least maybe on their current team, or at least at the time that the OpTic guys were around, and it wasn't Envoy. Now, Dashy was wondering if it could have been him, because he kind of remembers in the back of his mind an altercation with Kenny back in OGLA in Modern Warfare 19, and Kenny got phoned up and said that, yeah, that was actually what happened. So I'll share that for you guys if you haven't seen it at the end of the video. But let's talk about the LA Thieves roster drama, because this is Dan Ghosty dropping an anime gif or whatever, right? We're back at it again. Could Ghosty stay on Thieves? It's not seemingly an impossibility right now. They've dropped him. He's officially a restricted free agent. He is allowed to explore opportunities. He did this tweet on the 4th of August, restricted FA, making it very clear that he is not part of their future plans in an ideal world. But since then, Cellium has been signed to Falcons, we think. That's the big rumor. We're pretty sure that's happening. So if that's true, he's the man that Thieves wanted. They're not going to get Drazah. They're probably not going to get Abuzah. Maybe it's still a possibility. There could be other options on the market as well. Do you just ask Dan Ghosty to come back? There's an argument that maybe you do. And maybe he is feeling there's developments currently ongoing, because the Falcons are in a very interesting position. Maybe Ghosty could go to FaZe. Is that an option? Maybe yes. There was a time not long ago that I thought maybe Ghosty to Falcons was an option for them, and maybe it could still be. But if they've got the money that they have to throw around and try and get Scrappy, then presumably they are setting their sights on a very competitive team indeed. Now, some would still say, okay, Exnid and Predator, your sub-duo, is that the way to go? Maybe not in the longer term, or maybe it is. Maybe you try and get aBeZy. The thing is, if, let's say, Scrap gets sold by Thieves to Falcons, all of a sudden, Thieves will have a lot of money to potentially spend. Money that they could use to go and get aBeZy. Money that they could use to go and make sure that they can put, I don't know, Kenny and Drazah on good contracts, having lost Scrap. It's not an impossibility, right? So the business sense here is very compelling, and there's obviously been some talk about whether Exnid and Cellium is really the best duo in the world either. But the big rumor was earlier today, we saw it last night, discussed it this morning, that Scrap is maybe going to get bought out of his Thieves contract. He would like to stay on the Thieves. He's made that pretty clear. He would, you know, he would like to be part of that team and have more success with that organization. But if the money doesn't make sense, if the bottom line doesn't make sense, especially if the Falcons just come in with an offer that Thieves cannot say no to, then Scrap doesn't really have a choice. But it seems that actually Scrap does have a choice, and Thieves have given him an opportunity here. So as we discussed earlier today, Scrap on this current trajectory is unlikely to be a Thieves player in any case in 2027. Falcons either will get him now, or next year they will come along when he's a free agent and say, okay, well, we saved that $2 million not buying you out last time, here's $1 million contract or something that is going to be impossible to refuse. There's also the not zero chance that OpTic have a season that they don't like, as in they're not as good as they were this year, and OpTic decide to make a change, and that's going to be difficult to argue against if you don't win the World Championship if you're OpTic next year, and if Scrap and HyDra are available as free agents, total free agents on the market after their 2-year deal with Thieves is up. So as a result of that, there has been talk about Thieves trying to get Scrap to sign an extension, saying to Scrap, okay, you say you want to stay, right? We'll give you a contract, you can extend that contract, meaning that, yeah, Falcons might try to buy you out, but at least next year, Thieves have the security to know that Scrap isn't going to be going anywhere unless they choose to sell him. Now, is that argument particularly compelling for Scrap? On some level, potentially, but on another level, absolutely not, because maybe you do want to allow the Falcons to buy you out and have that conversation, because there's a lot of money to be made, as we know, with that organization. So Nadeshot says that as it stands, this is nowhere near a done deal. He actually implies it's pretty unlikely that this goes through, saying that the chances of that happening are the chances of him signing an extension, which also is relatively slim. So Nadeshot seems to imply the most likely case scenario here is that they don't sell Scrap because they don't want to. He stays on, but doesn't probably sign an extended contract, and then has the opportunity to leave next year unless Thieves do a great job and therefore is convincing enough that he should stay anyway.
It's above you. They're getting shot. Well, still top control. Still top
So you're
control.
saying there's a chance? I think there's the same chance that we would sell Scrap to any team It's the same chance that we have of him signing an extension.
Top.
I think he might already shut that down.
Dude, these little listenings after the win are a great time.
We know that Surge could have had a bag for selling Pred to OpTic. It could have been a lot of money, but that never happened, right? They didn't sell him. In hindsight, was that a big mistake? Probably, yeah, right? I mean, they didn't get much value out of Pred being there for another season, and they could have had a big bag selling him to OpTic. So from a business perspective, as I say, if the money really is $2 million, it's kind of difficult not to agree to that because, you know, it would pay you almost 2 years of salary for a very good competitive team. It would give Thieves the money to say, okay, look, we really want Scrap, but you know, if we're going to keep HyDra and we can use that money to go and get aBeZy and, you know, some other players that I mentioned, maybe they could still make a very competitive team. But clearly Nadeshot doesn't want to sell Scrap, and clearly it hasn't happened yet if it is going to at all. And, you know, the general discussion is that he doesn't really want to move him on, and he doesn't think that he probably will. I mean, Ronnie said in the article that he thinks it's highly unlikely that this deal comes to fruition, and Nadeshot's heavily implied, and Jake Maverick says that he went on to say that basically a 1% chance. So, you know, there's always a chance, right? With the Falcons coming along, there's always a chance. If the money is as big as $2 million, you know, maybe it's tough to say no, but also maybe this is tactical from Nadeshot. Maybe Nadeshot's coming out on stream and saying, no, 2 million, obviously he's not said the number, but implying to Falcons, like, it's not going to happen, 1% chance, unless Falcons can come up with something crazy. You know, why not bid Falcons up more? At the end of the day, this is the interesting thing for Falcons. They've offered 900k, they're now offering 2 million. You know, where will they go? What's their ceiling, right? Like, if they've gone from 900k to 2 million in a matter of days, then what's their upper bounds? 3 mil? 5 mil? Or who knows? Like, who knows what they will pay to make this happen if they're willing to make that type of a jump? So, like, if I'm Nadeshot, maybe this is smart negotiating to say, look, we're not selling Scrap. We're not interested. It's going to take a 1% chance of Falcons offering us some crazy money to make that happen. Maybe Nadeshot will be over the moon delighted to sell him for $2 million, but maybe they want more, and who could blame them right now? So I think it's a very interesting dynamic in Rostermania as it stands. But as it stands, Scrap has not been sold to the Falcons, and if that doesn't happen, if Falcons don't up their offer anymore, then maybe Scrap will stay. But will he sign an extension clause with Thieves to lock him down longer so that Falcons can't just get him for free next year, or he can't just leave to OpTic if he wants to? That's maybe something which Scrap is less likely to do. So very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
So you weren't the guy that Ken wanted to fight. You see that clip?
No. Bro, you swear to God, you know what's funny about that? That might have been, dude, I don't want to say it was me in MW. Like, no bullshit. Like, I swear, bro. Like, bro, back then I don't want to say a bad teammate, but it's holy shit.
And what? In what?
MW.
game?
I don't know if it was me.
MW19?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Dude, I don't know if it was me.
I forgot you guys
I
teamed
still
together.
don't
It
know
might
if
be you. You might have been like, what's up?
That
And he
does
was
sound
like-
like some shit
he
I
was
would
like,
say.
what's up?
But the thing is, I feel like I'd remember that.
Yeah, I don't think you would.
Nah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Ken, wasn't me. You text me. But...
I'm going to call him right now.
Yeah, say, Ken, was it me? Yeah.
Can you see if Ken's live?
Dude, actually, bro, me and Ken are actually, our relationship is so, like, from that, let's say if it was me in that situation, which I don't think it was, but it very well could have been. Now I'm a little sauced, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really
I'm
know.
going to call him. He live?
I feel like he's going to answer.
He's not live? You think he's going to answer?
I feel like he might.
Let's see. Let's see if he answers.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Hey, what up?
What's good?
Yo, I'm in the middle of Around the Bar right now with Bruce. And we were talking about your clip about how you want to fight somebody.
Okay.
And Bruce was like, I think that might have been me.
That'd be right.
Yeah, it's Brandon. Yeah.
It was me. Yo,
No
no fucking way.
Nah, it actually was, bro.
Yo, bro, you see, like, this is the shit I'm saying, bro. Like, I was actually blacking out back
It
then.
made it so funny because Hector texted me like, "Yo, who you talking about?" And I was like, "Bro, it was Brandon." He was like, "Bro, that makes it so much funnier, bro."
Bro, I did not know. Everybody thought it was Dylan.
No, yeah, everybody thinks it's Dylan or AG, but I'm like, bro. Like,
Let's just see. Let's just say for the public it was 80.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, brother.
Bro.
I appreciate.
Bro, you see, like, no bullshit. Like, no bullshit. Like, the more I think about it, now I could kind of remember it. I still don't really remember it, which is kind of fucked to think about, but that does sound.
You almost got into a fight you don't even know about it.
Yeah, I don't even know about it.